Hey, what's up guys? Chris here, and in this video I'm going to be going over why I believe pocket isn't everything. Now don't get me wrong, of course, pocket really is the bread and butter when it comes to drums. There's nothing really more important than keeping a solid groove, being able to maintain a rhythm that people can vibe to, people or your band that you're playing with can really lock into. But I'm going to explain why I believe it's not everything when it comes to the drums, and I think it's also possible to get too lost or a bit too consumed by just focusing on grooving. But I want to go over why I think it's really important as a drummer and a musician to explore more virtuosic aspects of music, and that includes things like solos, perhaps different time signatures, different kinds of rhythms, and basically adding little complexities on the drums, and not only adding them but learning how to do them in the first place. So firstly, I would like to say that when it comes to the drums, again, of course, the groove is everything and being able to hold a beat, but for now, let's just push that aside and pretend that we have that down, and now we're trying to focus on building originality and exploring different things on the drums. Now, I can assure you, most drummers, myself included, when I'm practicing behind the kit, I'm playing a lot of mistakes. If I was to just post a raw video of me playing, you would probably be quite disinterested. And now this is because I'm not going to spend all my time, and this isn't to say that I don't at all, but I'm not going to spend most of my time just playing a simple groove if I know I have that ability already. Now I think it's important to keep that kind of ingrained in you, because you can lose tightness and you can get sloppy over time if you're not practicing to, say, a metronome or keeping the groove. But my point is that it's important to really explore and be courageous when you're behind the drums, and to really just go for it. If there's a new fill or an idea that you have, just go for it. Mess it up, not intentionally, try your best, but mess it up and then just do it again. Mess it up, do it again, and you'll find that over time you're going to have less and less mistakes when you're practicing whatever that one thing is, and you're going to fine tune it. And that's honestly what I like to do for a lot of drum fills and licks, is just obviously to do it over and over and over again until I can get it down and then incorporate it into a groove or pocket and playing. Now you'll find that probably a lot of your favorite drummers are playing very similar sticking patterns throughout a lot of solos. Of course, they have a very wide range and repertoire of, say, sticking patterns and stuff that they're able to do. But my point is, as a drummer, you can have just a couple sticking patterns down, but by experimenting and connecting different fills with different rhythms and different grooves and different formats, different contexts, you start to create, well, firstly, you're going to improve your creativity, but you're also going to develop a sense of originality over time. Because once you get these fills or sticking patterns down and you incorporate them in your playing, and say you're playing with a band or more so just on your own without music, it really gives you a chance to kind of shine and show the direction in which you've chosen to take drumming. What I mean by that is, for example, I play a lot of metal drums, or I used to, and that's very much influenced my playing. But not only my playing, the drum fills I do, the types of grooves I do, the fact I like to play at a fast tempo. So things like this are all going to influence your playing, and you're going to develop a sense of originality. Now, I'm not saying to spend all your time just shredding all over the kit and basically playing nonsense. Start with that, you can play nonsense, but again, you want to fine tune that over time and really perfect those different drum fills or licks that you come across and incorporate them into your playing. And when you do that, you also want to keep in mind that you want the metronome playing. Again, for a long time when I was playing a lot of the faster fills I had just learnt, they didn't really mesh into my playing that well, because I hadn't spent enough time to really perfect the timing behind those fills. So what I'm saying is that when you find and discover these different drum fills and licks, practice them to a metronome, and you'd be surprised, it's difficult to do a lot of them slowly and then build it up. And once you can do that, trust me guys, you have it down, and there you go, bam. It's it's a part of your playing and a part of your repertoire, and you can showcase that again as a part of your originality and your way of playing drums. Now it's also important that playing these fills doesn't mean it has to have no taste or just be for the sake of showing off. That's completely wrong, guys. Now it can be that, and you do see it become that a lot of the time. But you can, and there's many examples, I'll probably throw a little list here. There are a lot of drummers who have learned to honestly play some of the craziest, most complex rhythms and licks and fills, but in a musical manner. And this is really cool because this really helps set you apart from a lot of drummers who, yes, they may be able to hold the groove down, and again, that's super important, probably the most important thing if you're playing in a band or a musical context, but to then add all these little, you know, different drum fills and different licks that you've perfected and you've kind of created your own, and you have your own way of doing, and to be able to play that in a way that complements the music, I think comes across very inspiring. And again, it depends on the context and what kind of music you're playing, what the goal is, but generally musicians who can add their own kind of flavor, their own virtuoso to a song or a piece, I think is always a mind-blowing thing as a listener and inspiring to others. It also helps push your playing and keep you improving as a drummer. But over time you're going to develop them, hone them in, perfect them, and then incorporate them in your playing, so that not only are you a drummer that can just play the groove, you can add all these cool little complexities that actually complement the music. So for example, say you have a little drum solo section, what you can do is learn how to incorporate different sticking patterns and say hitting the crash to accent parts of the song whilst playing the solo, so it still comes across musical. So for example, if the piece accents dun 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 dun, then you could go you know, something like that, guys. But my point is work on accenting and using, say, the toms and the cymbals to complement the music while soloing. This is where I think a lot of true professionalism lies, and this is just something that takes time and practice, guys, but don't ignore it, and just don't get so fixated on being able to hold certain grooves down. I mean, you're probably gonna have that down before you can even do a lot of the flashier fills, but I feel like when it comes to drumming, you know, for the most part, it should be fun and something that you can explore almost indefinitely, because the ideas are endless, the possibilities are endless, and that's what drumming's about, guys. So yeah, that's just my opinion, guys. Obviously, again, pocket is very important. Make sure you practice, but also take time to have some fun, be creative behind the kit, and experiment with different rhythms, different drum fills, solos, etc. But yeah, guys, these are just some of the ideas that I've had around this topic. Again, I know pocket is super important as a drummer, but I think it's important to also be creative and push your limits, test different rhythms, drum solos, learn how to be a versatile drummer. And if you have any ideas or things to add on, please comment below, let me know. I get back to everyone I can. Also, make sure to check out my Instagram, which is chrisjenkins_drums, and I've been getting some great feedback, and that thing has been growing daily, guys. So make sure you check that out. And until then, happy practicing. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.